What's up, guys? My name is Jose. Sorry I couldn't make it today. I was feeling a little bit under the weather, but hopefully I can recover soon and prosper. So, my title name is Effing Around and Finding Out. So, for some context, this was happening the last weekend of March of 2024. I spent it staying at my brother's crib for the weekend to spend some quality time with my nephew. It's Saturday. My cousin's quinceañera is happening, but that same day, my uncle is moving out of my grandparents' house. Now, the reason why that's so important is because ever since when my grandparents immigrated over here, they built their house from the ground up, raising my aunt, my uncles, and my mom, obviously. And ever since then, my grandparents' house has been a family heirloom to us. We spend countless traditions there and throw killer parties. Right now, when my grandparents passed away, everyone was in complete shock. Everyone was sad and in disbelief, honestly. And especially my uncle, I mean, he lived with them. So my uncle was in distraught. He couldn't live there anymore. His home didn't feel like home anymore. It lost its value. My uncle decided to pass down the house, because we're obviously not going to sell it. He decided to pass down the house to my aunt, and he decided to go buy his own crib. So from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., everyone's helping my uncle pack, wrapping dishes in newspaper, which is something my mom does, boxing up so many portraits, so many paintings, emptying out all the drawers, all the cabinets, and labeling everything. You know how it is moving, right? So this is when the story begins. It's noon on a Sunday, the day after the big party. Everyone is completely hungover and probably still hammered. I'm chilling in the living room with my brother and his son when out of nowhere my brother receives a call. It's my uncle. My uncle's calling. He's like, "Hey, do you think you can help me move? Can you take my U-Haul to help me take the packages from my grandparents' house to my house?" And we were like, "Yeah, of course." Head to my uncle's house to get the U-Haul. We leave my brother's car there. He puts his keys in his back pocket. We hop in the U-Haul. The endless trips begin. We're on the road. We're driving a good 30-ish minutes back and forth, unpacking and loading and unloading nonstop, right? We're on the last load. We're leaving my uncle's driveway and we're on the freeway, right? We're on the freeway, right? When my brother receives a call again, but this time it's from his girlfriend. His girlfriend's like, "Hey, pull up. My family made some fajitas for no particular reason. Come and get a plate." Because she knew that we were doing this. So we were like, "Yeah, of course." So we to the nearest exit. We drive to my brother's girlfriend's family's house to get 2 places to go. And we get a couple drinks and we're back on the road, headed straight for my grandparents' house. We're on the road, drinking, eating, blasting music, just chopping it up, right? Just having a good time, enjoying the road, right? We're not gonna be bums about it and complain, right? We get to my grandparents' house. We're on the driveway. We park coming in, and we're done eating, right? I'm looking around because I grabbed a handful of drinks. I'm looking around. There's 2 drinks left, 2 jarritos, 2 Mexican drinks. I hand my brother his. I get mine. He got the mandarin one. I got the apple one, and we're in park. Like we're ready to start loading. Both doors are open, right? Now, naturally, when you encounter a problem, you obviously, logically, you try to find a solution, right? Both of our drinks still had the lid on with no bottle opener. Luckily, me and my brother, we were on the same wavelength. Look and find a look-alike bottle opener on the side of the U-Haul door, right? Because both doors are open, and I'm already outside. So I put my bottle in between the U-Haul door. It's like a little latch, like a little metal square hook with the hollow inside, right? It looked just like a bottle opener. So logically, I put it in there, right? Pause. I put it in there and I twist open my soda. The cap is still stuck on between the latch, in between the latch. So I go with my middle finger to go push it out. And as I'm about to start drinking my soda, I notice that as I'm about to sip, I noticed that the rim is completely not shattered, but it looks like a mountain. Like it's all glassy and sharp, and obviously I'm not gonna drink that. And as I'm thinking this, I'm like, what the hell? I noticed that it feels like I'm in the shower and I got water pouring down from my fingers, right? I know we've all done that, but I noticed it feels like it's raining, but it's not. I look at my hand because that's where I feel like water's coming from. My hand is pouring blood, like my fingers is like if a dam broke. There's just nonstop blood. Now, before I freak out, I go to suck my finger to see the damage, and I notice that there's a dent in my finger. Now, as I'm about to freak out, I call over my brother. I'm like, "Hey, bro, I'm bleeding. Look." Now, as I told you before, me and my brother were on the same wavelength. We both have the same problem. So he's still sitting, right? He goes, he leans over to go do the same thing I did, but his bottle broke in half, shattered completely. He looks over, he's like, bro, me too. He shows me his hand with a piece of glass sticking out of it, with a clean, smooth cut across his palm. Now, now that's when I start kind of freaking out because now we're both bleeding. So I huddle over there. I go around the car, holding my finger with my shirt, changing color to stop the bleeding a little bit to go see what's up with him because he has to go pull a piece of glass out of his hand. I'm just bleeding, right? So I go over. He pulls the piece of glass out like a maniac. He gets some duct tape and wraps it around his hand like if we were in The Walking Dead, bro. He literally just gets duct tape, wraps it around his hand. He's good. He balls up his hand. He's like, I'm good. Now we got to worry about you. So we get some napkins that he brought from the two plates, right? We wrap it around my finger. We get both napkins, right? Wrap it around my finger with some duct tape, and boom, I got a band-aid. So now this is all happening literally in the driveway of my grandparents' house. Now, the reason why we didn't go in and look inside for bandage, like the house, it's a shell of a house. Like there's nothing in there. There's like a sink and like a fridge and maybe a microwave. Like there's nothing in there, and a couple paintings, right? So obviously we're not going anywhere. We have to finish. So we both, and as we're calming down, with the bleeding stops, everything's cool. We start moving the packages. We start loading. We're getting a little bit of blood on the boxes, but we're fine. We're done. We hop back in the U-Haul and we're headed over to my uncle's house. Now, we get to my uncle's house. We drop off the U-Haul. We call him. We're like, hey, the U-Haul's outside. Come get it. That's literally what we told him, man. He didn't take it personal because he knew he later finds out what happens. So we get in my brother's car, right? He takes his keys out of his back pocket. He unlocks it. We get in. Now, naturally, whenever you take out your keys from anywhere, you put it in the ignition and you start it, right? And normally people have keychains and you move it and it's not, you know what keys sound like. So I don't hear keys dingling. I don't hear any ringing. Now, confused, because obviously I thought my brother was going to instantly start the car and let's go. I look over at my brother. My brother's staring at his keys. I look at his keys. My brother has a bottle opener keychain on his keys. He had them with him the entire time. And to make matters even worse, he opens up the console between us, and there's another bottle opener there. This whole thing could have been avoided. This entire event could have been avoided if we both thought to ask, "Hey, do you have a bottle opener?" Like, I would have had to talk about something different right now. This entire thing could have been avoided, literally. So, defeated, my brother starts up his car, and we head home. So we get home. I get a real band-aid. I go to the sink. I wash it off. I'm good, right? The next day, obviously, my mom finds out because I go to school the next day and I go to the nurse. He was bleeding and I need another band-aid. So she's like, yeah, come through. So I go inside the office. I show her. She's like, yeah, no, you got to go to the hospital. A band-aid isn't going to fix this. So I call my mom. I FaceTime her. She comes, picks me up, and takes me to go get professional treatment. And I got like a blue like wrap around my finger. I don't know. And that was it. That was the end of my story. Uh, the moral of the story is think before you act, please. Or if not, you will F around and find out like I did. And cars do not have built-in bottle openers. For the love of God, cars do not have built-in bottle openers. Thank you for your time. I know David's story is going to be better than this, but hey, free 10 points. Y'all missed out on not performing the first day. Thank you for your time. My name is Jose, and I'm